Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to this deep dive into the discussion Dr. Maqsood Azeemi held on October 9th, 2025. We're going to unpack some really fascinating insights today. Some highlights we'll be covering include digging into specific Quranic terms, really understanding taqwa, not just piety, but prudence, and, well, comprehending Allah.
Right, and the role of guidance, irshad, and the murshid.
Exactly. Plus the definition and maybe how to actually get khushi, or happiness. There's a scientific approach to spiritual matters Dr. Subban talked about.
Definitely. We'll also look at Shukar, gratitude, and the term Shukar, and Sabr, which turns out to be about perseverance and struggle, not just patience.
And finally, this really crucial point about relying on the Creator versus getting stuck depending on resources.
Yeah, that one's key.
So we're here to really analyze Dr. Saab's discussion with depth, passion, and genuine interest. We want to explore these topics completely, step by step. Let's jump in.
Sounds good. So Dr. Saab kicked things off by tackling a really well-known verse from Surah Ar-Rahman, the one repeated, 41 times. Fabi Ayyi, Rabbikuma Tukazziban.
So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? That's how it's usually translated, right?
That's the common one, yeah. But Dr. Saab said, hold on, translating Ali as just nimat or blessing or favor, it kind of misses the mark. It narrows it down too much.
Okay, so if Ali isn't just blessing, what's the alternative? Because, I mean, changing that word changes the whole feel of the surah.
It absolutely does. Dr. Saab mentioned, and he was citing the teachings of Qalander Baba Auliya here, that a word in the Quran, even if it appears 100 times, essentially holds the same core meaning everywhere. You have to find the common factor.
Right. Consistency is key.
Exactly. So looking at Ali across its uses, Dr. Saab argued the real meaning is broader. It's about Allah's things, or maybe statements, or even affairs the bite. So the verse is really asking, which of the fundamental realities, the truths, the statements declared by your Lord can you possibly deny or reject?
Wow. Okay. That's a huge shift. It takes it from, like, counting material gifts to confronting our denial of how things actually are.
Yeah.
And didn't he make a similar point about the word for denial itself, kizab?
He did, and this is where it gets even more interesting, I think. Dr. Saab explained that kizab isn't the same as kufre, which is simple denial or negation. Kizab, he said, is a much stronger form of denial. It's rejecting something rudely, stubbornly, almost arrogantly. Like, you know it's true, but you dismiss it anyway.
So it's an active, aggressive kind of denial.
Precisely. And then consider who the verse is addressing, both of you, Kufa. Dr. Saab questioned the standard interpretation of just jinn and humans. He suggested it also, maybe primarily, refers to your own self, your zahir, your outer apparent self, and your batan, your inner hidden self.
So it's internal too, my inner self and my outer self.
Yeah.
How can either deny these fundamental truths?
That's the question Dr. Saab posed. How can your complete existence, inside and out, possibly deny these statements which are based on ultimate reality? The implication is huge. Denial isn't just an intellectual mistake. It's a deep fracture within yourself, a kind of self-deception.
Because if the universe itself is a statement of reality, denying it means denying a part of ourselves or our connection to it. That leads us straight into taqwa, doesn't it? The next big concept he tackled, usually translated as fear of God. How did Dr. Saab flip that one?
Yeah, he really reframed it, stripped away the sort of simplistic fear. Dr. Saab said Wattaqullah means something much more active and frankly positive. He translated it as employ your zawq regarding Allah and use caution ehtiyat in understanding him.
Zawq, like taste or inclination.
Mm-hmm.
And caution. So it's about having an appetite to understand Allah, but doing it carefully, respectfully.
Exactly. It's a passionate quest, but a careful one, not reckless. It's about wanting to comprehend. Dr. Saab pointed out, citing his own Murshid Kareem, Khwaja Shamsuddin Azimi, that a muttaqi, the person who embodies taqwa, was defined by his Murshid as one who possesses zawq regarding Allah.
So it's about having that inclination, that spiritual taste.
Right, and Dr. Saab really emphasized, look, Allah is described as loving us more than 70 mothers. The primary relationship can't be based on sheer dread, like you'd fear a wild animal, assure as he put it. It's about profound respect and, yes, caution, but within a relationship of immense love and mercy, driving you towards understanding, not away from it.
Okay, that reframes taqwa completely. If it's about achieving this deep, careful understanding, this zawq, then how do we actually do that? Did Dr. Saab offer practical steps, a path?
He did. He laid out what you could almost call a hierarchy, or maybe levels, of understanding the Creator. 5 levels, moving from the outside in, if you like.
Like climbing a ladder.
Sort of, yeah. Level 1, he said, is understanding Allah's kalam, his speech, his word, like the Quran itself, the most direct communication.
Okay, makes sense. Start with the revealed word.
Then level 2, understanding Allah's come, his actions, his works in the universe, what he does.
Observing creation, history.
Exactly. Then level 3, understanding Allah's mizan, the systems, the laws that govern those actions. Because actions don't happen randomly, they operate within established systems, like physics, biology, even social dynamics, perhaps.
So we're moving from the visible effect, kam, to the underlying operating system, nizam.
Precisely, and it goes deeper. Level 4 is understanding Allah's sifat, his attributes, because the systems themselves operate based on underlying attributes, like knowledge, power, wisdom, mercy. These attributes drive the systems.
Right, the qualities that make the systems work the way they do.
And finally, level 5, the core, understanding Allah's zat, his essence, the fundamental being to which all those attributes are connected. Now, obviously, understanding the zat fully is beyond us, but the path moves in that direction.
That's a very structured way to think about knowing God, almost like a scientific progression.
It is, and Dr. Saab actually drew a parallel between how Allah's attributes manifest and how humans create. He mentioned 3 stages of sifat. Itla, kriya, the potential, what Allah knows about the attribute. Then aina, when Allah decides or intends to use it, and kunya, when it's actually manifested, used in creation.
Having an idea, planning it, and then doing it.
Exactly. It mirrors our own process. Ilm, knowledge, the idea. Fikr, thought, the plan. And amal, action, the execution. It shows a coherence between the divine and human processes of creation.
Now, to climb that ladder, to understand those levels, Dr. Saab stressed needing a scientific approach. What do you mean by that? It sounds like it requires a certain mindset.
Absolutely. It requires, he said, total impartiality. You need to remove your own biases. Specifically, he mentioned getting rid of personal benefits, maslat, greed, lalak, and fear, kof. These things cloud your judgment, your observation.
So you can't be looking for personal gain or be afraid of what you might find.
No. When you remove those, you achieve a state called Istighna. It means independence, self-sufficiency, but in this context, it really means neutrality. Dr. Saab linked the root word gina to harmony or even melody. So Istighna is like syncing yourself, your mind's rhythm, with the rhythm of nature, fitrat, with Allah's creation, finding an objective equilibrium.
Like getting into a flow state for observation.
That's a good way to put it. And he used the analogy of a judge in a courtroom or a scientist in a lab. You had to be impartial, listen to all sides, or observe all data, and make decisions based on the law or the evidence, not your personal preference or feelings.
So observe the universe, Mushahida, without your own agenda getting in the way.
Yes. Pure observation.
Yeah.
And to anchor this, Dr. Saab brought in a crucial teaching from his Murshid Karim, Khawaja Shamsuddin Azeemi. His Murshid taught that the only truly natural relationship human beings have is with Allah, the Creator. All other relationships, family, friends, society, are essentially instinctual jibilati.
That's a powerful statement. Why is that important for neutrality?
Because if you realize your fundamental connection is only to the source, it helps detach you from the worldly dependencies and expectations that create bias. It gives you that platform of Istighna needed for clear observation.
Okay, that lays the groundwork for understanding.
Yeah.
But life isn't just observation, it's constant choices. Which path to take? This brings us to guidance, irshad, and the murshid.
Right. Dr. Seb defined irshad, which comes from the root rasht, simply as showing the correct path, the right direction. And the murshid, therefore, isn't just someone who gives lectures or writes books. The murshid is the one who actively shows the way.
A guide, not just a teacher.
Exactly. Dr. Saab used this really vivid example. At any given moment, you basically have 5 choices. Go right, go left, go forward, go backward, or just stand still. The choices you make moment by moment shape your entire life, what he referred to as your kitab ul-markum, your recorded book.
And the murshid's role?
The murshid performs irshad by guiding you on which of those 5 options to choose at critical junctures, showing you the step that aligns with your spiritual progress and ultimate reality. He also mentioned the concept of the qutbi irshad, like Abu Faiz Qalander al-Surawardi. This is like the central pole or anchor of guidance, who spiritually feeds or empowers those who are performing the act of irshad for others. It shows a whole spiritual ecosystem of guidance.
A structure for helping people navigate life's choices. Okay, so we have this deep understanding, Taqwa, and the guidance, irshad. How does this apply to our emotional state? Let's talk about kushi happiness. There was a question about why Dr. Saab's Murshid, Khawaja Shamsuddin Azeemi, would always pray Kush Rahen, stay happy even if something sad had just happened. What's the science behind that, according to Dr. Saab?
Well, Dr. Saab's definition of Kushi was beautifully simple and profound. He said Kushi is basically synonymous with closeness to Allah Qurbat. When you feel that connection, that proximity, you are inherently happy. Like a child feeling secure and content right next to its mother.
So happiness isn't about external events, but internal connection.
Primarily, yes. And conversely, he defined Pavashani worry, anxiety, trouble scientifically. He described it as the mind becoming scattered, disorganized, zain ka bikharna. If your mind is focused, unified, yakso, then worry just can't take root, regardless of what's happening outside.
Unified focus blocks worry.
That's the idea, and this is why Dr. Saab recounted his Murshid Karim, Khawaja Shamsuddin Azemi, advising him, force yourself to be happy, eventually it becomes a habit. It sounds strange, maybe, but it's presented as a kind of mental training. You actively practice focusing on connection and unity, even when circumstances tempt you towards scattering.
Force yourself to be happy.
Yeah.
It sounds really tough, especially when things are genuinely bad. How does Dr. Saab's practical method, he called it problem shooting, help bridge that gap? How do you force happiness when you're facing a disaster?
Right, it's not about pretending the problem doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Dr. Saab observed that most people, when faced with a problem, just sort of chew on it, like gum, he said, Shabbat Reitahain. They dwell on it, turn it over and over in their minds.
Which just makes it feel bigger and worse.
Exactly. And spiritually, Dr. Saab said, dwelling on the problem actually gives it more power, helps it manifest more strongly. The spiritual science, the problem shooting, is this. The moment you identify a problem, you consciously stop focusing on the problem itself and immediately shift your entire mental focus onto the solution, the how.
Don't feed the problem with attention. Feed the solution.
Precisely. The idea is that whatever you focus your mental energy on is what will manifest. Focus on the solution and the solution will start to form, to appear. He used the analogy, get the bull by the horns. Face the situation, yes, but face it by working on the answer, not by wrestling with the problem description.
And the connection to happiness.
Dr. Saab emphasized that every single time you successfully solve a problem, no matter how small, you experience a surge of kushi. Real happiness isn't found by avoiding problems. It's found in the practice, the mush, the continuous effort of solving them. It's an active state.
That makes sense. Happiness is a byproduct of effective action. This theme of active spirituality clearly runs through everything. Which brings us neatly to shukr, or gratitude. Dr. Saab suggested this is also active, not just saying thank you. And what's the difference he explained between shakir and shakur?
Yeah, another concept turned from passive to active. Dr. Saab taught, again drawing from his Murshid Karim's wisdom, that the core Arabic meaning of shukr isn't just expressing thanks. It's fundamentally about using the given ability or quality well. It's demonstrating appreciation through proper utilization.
Right, he used that shirt analogy, didn't he?
Yes, the famous shirt analogy. He said, if his Murshid gave him a shirt as a gift, just putting it away safely in a cupboard, maybe putting perfume on it and showing it off occasionally, that's not shukr. True shukr, he said, is actually wearing the shirt, using it for its intended purpose, maintaining it, and demonstrating its value through use.
So if Allah gives you an ability, shukr is using that ability productively.
Exactly. Dr. Saab pointed to the Quranic examples of Luqman and Dawood, David. They were given hikmat, wisdom. Their shukr wasn't just sitting and saying prayers of thanks. It was actively using that wisdom, making just rulings, governing wisely, contributing actively. That was their demonstration of gratitude.
And the term shakir and shakur.
Dr. Saab clarified, shakur is an attribute often applied to Allah. It means the one who causes or enables the abilities and qualities to be recognized and used well. Allah is shakur because he appreciates and rewards the right use of his gifts. Shakir is the one who actually performs the shukr, the person who receives the gift or ability and actively uses it well.
The enabler and the user. Got it. So if shukr is active use, then the next one, sab, usually translated as patience. Well, this must also be active, right? This seems like a major departure from how most people think of patience just quietly enduring hardship.
A huge departure. Dr. Saab flatly rejected the common distorted understanding of sabr as passive tolerance, or just gritting your teeth and waiting for bad times to pass. He said the true Quranic meaning is dynamic. It's about active struggle, jadojed, persistent effort, perseverance, and steadfastness, istiqamah, in the face of difficulty. It's about refusing to give up the righteous struggle.
So Sabr isn't waiting for the storm to pass. It's continuing to sail the ship through the storm.
Beautifully put, yes. He used Surah Al-Asr as powerful evidence. The surah states, Inna linsana lafi kusur, verily, man is in loss. A stark statement. Except illa latina, for those who do four things, all active. Amanu, they believe, which is an active state of conviction. Amal salihat, they perform righteous deeds, and Dr. Saab often interpreted this as performing any work or action well with excellence. Tawasaw bil haq, they enjoin upon each other or hold fast to the truth, to reality. And finally, tawasaw bis sabr, they enjoin upon each other or hold fast to steadfastness, perseverance.
So Sabr is the capstone requirement for avoiding loss, alongside belief, good work, and truth.
Exactly. It's the quality that keeps you going in the right direction despite the obstacles. And Dr. Saab pointed to the ultimate example, the life of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. His entire life was the embodiment of Sabr as relentless, steadfast struggle against seemingly impossible odds, which ultimately led to success. It wasn't passive endurance. It was active, persistent striving.
This active scientific view of spirituality, understanding reality, focusing the mind, using gifts, struggling steadfastly. It all sounds incredibly empowering. But Dr. Saab identified a major practical roadblock for many people, getting stuck depending on resources, or wassail, instead of relying directly on the Creator. He even called this dependency a kind of deception, makar.
Yes, this was a very practical, down-to-earth point he drove home. He said, that common thought process, I want to do this good work, but I can't start because I don't have the money, or I don't have the connections, or I lack the resources. That whole mindset, Dr. Saab argued, is a direct consequence of relying on the resources rather than on the creator of the resources.
Of believing the tools are more important than the one who provides the tools.
Precisely. His teaching was radical. If you shift your focus and establish deep Yakin certainty, conviction that the creator, the originator of all resources, is with you and supports your righteous intention, then the necessary resources will automatically generate. Just as Allah created the entire universe with the command kun be, that same principle, Dr. Saab suggested, operates for generating the means for good work when your reliance is correctly placed.
That requires immense faith. Did you provide examples to make that tangible?
He provided the most powerful example from his own experience, his Murshid Karim, Khwaja Shamsuddin Azimi. Dr. Saab recounted how his Murshid started his vast spiritual mission, the Silsila Azimiya, with literally nothing. He mentioned the story of his Murshid having only a simple dhoti and banyan to his name at the beginning.
Wow, from practically nothing.
From nothing. And yet, Dr. Saab witnessed firsthand how meditation halls, schools, hospitals, and a global spiritual network emerged. How? Not through inheriting wealth or building business empires. Dr. Saab was clear his Murshid didn't have those things. It happened because his Murshid's focus was purely on the work, calm, ordained by Allah, with absolute reliance on him.
So the advice was literally, don't chase the resources, chase the work.
Explicitly. Dr. Saab said his Murshid Karim directly advised him, do not get involved in the pursuit of resources, focus on the work. The implication being, if you focus on the work sincerely and rely on the Creator, he will manage the resource side.
Did Dr. Saab share any personal experiences of this principle?
He did. He shared a story about when his Murshid commanded him to build a house, which would also serve as a center in Karachi. Dr. Saab said his immediate reaction wasn't, okay, let me figure out the finances first. His reaction was to act immediately on the command, to start the process of fulfilling the order.
He started the work, trusting the means would come.
Yes. And he described how, almost miraculously, the resources needed for the construction just appeared as they were required. The funds, the materials, the permissions. Things fell into place because the primary focus was on executing the command, on the solution, with reliance on Allah. He wasn't waiting for the bank account to be full before starting.
So the takeaway isn't to ignore practical steps like getting permits.
No. Dr. Saal was clear you still have to follow the necessary procedures, work within the system. But the crucial mistake is waiting for all the resources to be lined up before you act on a righteous intention or command. The spiritual sciences. Focus on the work, focus on the solution, act with yaqeen in the Creator, and trust that He will provide the wasail, the means. And doing this, he concluded, actually increases your awareness of Allah's closeness, His qurbat.
What an incredibly powerful and practical synthesis. We've gone from deep interpretations of Quranic terms like Ali and Kazab to redefining Taqwa as active, careful understanding, finding Kushi through closeness and problem solving, seeing Shukar as active use and Sabr as active struggle, and finally landing on this principle of relying on the Creator over resources. It really paints a picture of spirituality as a dynamic, scientific, and engaged way of living. We really hope this deep dive has helped illuminate the scientific and practical application of these core concepts, Taqwa, Kushi, Shukar, and Sabr, by analyzing Dr. Saab's profound discussion. Thank you so much for your time watching and listening to this. We hope this discussion has, expanded your mind with its light. Please do forward this video to your friends, especially those who ask about spirituality, Ruhaniyat, or the Azemiya path, Silsila Azemiya. Sharing it helps YouTube show it to more people who might benefit. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that like button. It really helps. Many prayers for you too. Allah Hafiz. God be with you all.
Ameen. Allah Hafiz. Jazakallah. May Allah grant you great reward.